Hi, Christian Bates here from the Perrymount Clinic in Haywards Heath. So I have a video for you today on toddlers. Most of the videos I do have been on babies so far, but the next biggest age group that I see for cranial osteopathy is toddlers. And I basically know that if a toddler walks into the room to see me, that it's going to be a sleep problem. And the parents are going to be super tired because you can have a toddler 2, 3, but I've seen older children as well, 4, 5, 6, who have never slept the night through. And the parents are so tired. What often goes with this though is that these toddlers slightly older, if they're maybe at playschool or something, they might have some behavioural issues, some tantrums, maybe some learning difficulties, and quite often I see night terrors as well. And that's really upsetting for the parents, having your baby waking up screaming and upset, and especially if that baby is waking up screaming right next to you in bed. It's deafening and frightening to everybody. So then you have these babies that aren't sleeping through and the whole family is quite disrupted. So in actual fact, the cranial osteopathy is so effective at helping these babies. And one thing that I have really noted is that these older children that come in to see me for help with these haven't been treated as babies. So they haven't seen me and they haven't seen another cranial osteopath, and something has happened at birth, like an elongated delivery, Von-2s or forceps, planned C-section, emergency C-section, all these things that I talk about that can be helped with cranial osteopathy and the nutrition in the other baby videos. That's happened, but they haven't been treated and corrected initially in those first few months of life. So I know that doing the treatment as a baby actually does help these children later on in life. So we're seeing these babies with or toddlers that aren't sleeping and with night terrors and tantrums and things. And what I'm finding is that you can really feel the tension still in them that has occurred around the birth. So this is what I do. I use the cranial osteopathy, very, very gentle on them, and we get some lovely results, and they start to calm down and it starts to take that tension out of their nervous system. And I describe it like this to parents. They're not in pain, but they're just set, ready to go, ready to have a tantrum, ready to wake up. So if you think that maybe here's a nice deep sleep, what happens is these toddlers are just hovering here, so it's so easy to wake them up. They wake up, they wake up. And some babies you can hoover around. Parents say, I could hoover the house, and that baby stays fast asleep. And then they have their toddler, and you walk in, floorball creaks, and they're awake, and they're screaming, and that's it. They never go into a deep sleep. And this is where cranial osteopathy is so good. It just brings the baby and the toddlers down deeper, more relaxed, so you get a much better and deeper sleep. And then the tantrums and things calm down. So I like to say it's a bit like your toddler's been drinking coffee all day. You know how we can feel with coffee? You're jittery and you're always on edge. I think that's how they feel. They're always on edge and their nervous system is ready to wake up. So if you've got toddlers like this, the cranial osteopathy is really, really helpful. I actually do a little bit of nutrition as well. So I never leave the nutrition out with any age patient I see. And very often these toddlers are addicted to milk. So they're absolute milk monsters. And the parents go, and I say, do they like their milk? And they like milk monsters. And I've had some parents who have lined milk up next to the bed. So when the baby wakes up, milk, goes to sleep, hours sleep, toddler wakes up, milk. So they're always giving the milk. Now the milk has some sort of irritating factor on the gut. So this goes in hand with a toddler. They have sleep problems, they often love milk, and then they often have tummy issues. So they might have diarrhea or very constantly runny tummy or constipation. The really interesting part of this is that the nerve that supplies the bowel that comes from the back behind the ear here, called the vagus nerve, most of that nerve is feedback back to the brain about what's going on in the gut. So if your gut's irritated, if that toddler's got constipation or diarrhea, there's a big feedback coming up to the brain and the brain's just lit up like this. So they might not be getting into a deep sleep because their tummy's churning around, and milk actually can irritate this. So this is where this little triad comes with sleep, milk and tummy problems. So when I bring when I see the toddlers and when parents bring them into me, then I try and look at all of those factors. I hope this video has helped you. If there's anything in here that rings a bell, then feel free to give me a call and I'll try and help you. Thank you.